Hey folks, what's your welcome back to another Poem Master video, and for the last Shitty Summon video today, we're going to go over Sygna Red and his rerun, right? So, this unit is coming 6 hours after Sygna Blue's banner and 3 hours after Sygna Leaf's banner. Why? No clue, but they are making him wait the longest. It's probably because, I mean, for him specifically, probably because he's the rerun and the other two are new units. So they're pushing him, a bit behind the other two. But regardless, he is coming back and he is pretty good. He's a really good unit. So, first of all, Sygna Red, he is a striker, right? So they do have one of each, tech, support, and striker with the Kanto trio, right? Which is pretty cool. Fire type, weak to rock, which I guess makes sense, right? That 4 times, does kind of hurt sometimes. Not that it's 4 times in this game, it's, in the main series, right? So going over this unit, it is a old unit, so I'll just quickly, I won't spend too much time on it, right? So in terms of stats, at level 125, has solid HP for a striker, right? Good attack, or very good attack. Okay defense. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not anything amazing either. But it is a striker, so really good special attack. Same thing with special defense, and this speed is not great. But like in comparison to like the past 5 units that they've came out with, this looks almost good. But, when you're looking at this compared to other units, it's not that great of a speed either, unfortunately. But going over its kit, it has Heat Wave, which is 109 power, 90% accuracy, 3 gauge, AoE with a very small chance of letting target burn. As Dire Hit Plus, sharply raises user's crit rate. Blast Burn, which is 178 power, fire special, 90% accuracy, 4 gauges, single target, no additional effect. And then My Destiny is its trainer move, which drastically raises user's special attack and speed, lowers user's defense and special defense. And if it's mega'd, drastically raises the attack. So with his base kit, you got a lot of good stuff, right? You got both an AoE option and a single target option, right? Which is really, really nice. So, obviously both of these do really, really good damage, has good stats as well, all that stuff. His trainer move is... you get a lot of buffs, but obviously you do get the, this debuff, which is not fun. Definitely not fun, but, you're gaining so much, you gotta lose something, right? So it is what it is. Just, don't die when you're using it. That's, it would be nice if you could, generally just use one of that per round and then like get the extra +3 with a support or something so you don't get, crushed. But overall, it's fine. It's fine. Red is, when he first came out, right? He was extremely good because he had basically max crit, max special attack, and also max speed, which is very, very good for co-op, right? Because co-op, especially when you're playing with randos, no one brings supports, and it's good to not bring supports generally, right? Back in the day, DPS was kind of meta, whatever that means, right? So just bringing strikers is really good, and over time, he's still very, very good. Just more other strikers because of how the meta changed from co-op to single player. Having self buffs is not as big of a deal anymore. It's still good. But in single player, obviously much more flexible with team comps and such. And yeah, this guy just does really, really good damage. Obviously, Blast Burn does a lot of damage. Heat Wave still does a lot of damage as well. Overall, so just he does his job very well. He's a striker, supposed to do damage, does a lot of damage. Also, one more thing that is very, very nice for Red is because he is fire type, he gets that extra 50% buff from Sun as well, right? So that's nice. Moving on to Mega Charizard X. The only difference here is you. Oh, the sync move, by the way, gives you +1 crit on the sync move, which is really nice. I really like the sync move. Gives you +1 crit. And also, by the way, once you get it to 6-star EX, it does make your sync move AoE, which I did a whole video talking about it. Upsides, downsides. It's not the best thing in the world for red, unfortunately, but I don't think it's like that big of a deal, right? Because if you are AoE, you can sync move. Not that it's 100% confirmed that it's going to be split damage, but based on what we see right now, AoE moves are split damage. Opponent AoE sync moves are all split damage as well, so very, very likely it's going to be split damage. So when generally you want to have the AoE moves do as much damage as you can to one target, or not AoE, the sync move to do as much damage as you want on one target, especially with red, who does have some sync nuke potential on his grid. You do only do half damage now after if it turns into AoE, which is slightly unfortunate. But again, I don't think it's a huge deal, right? Unless, again, you are running sync nuke builds with red, then it could be a pretty big deal. So, moving on, dude's passes. Dude's passes are great. Potion 1, 20% chance of decreasing sync move countdown by 1 when a move is successful. This is good. It's nothing fantastic, but it's good. Every time it does activate. Obviously, it's very good when it activates. When it doesn't, but like it's not like insanely powerful when it activates. Just because of how move queuing works in relationship to the sync move countdown mechanism, right? So you kind of need, like, getting one doesn't really help. You do need multiple to trigger to actually make it worth it, right? Unless you're in co-op, which is, you don't have to worry about that if you're in co-op. Piercing Gaze, moves never miss. This is fantastic because both Blast Burn and Heat Wave have very, very good power, but they are 90% accuracy, so Piercing Gaze is fantastic. Move Gauge Refresh 4, it literally has Move Gauge Refresh on all his moves, 50% chance to +1 Move Gauge on his attack moves, which is really, really good as well. So there's that. As for the moves, you do replace Dire Hit Plus with Flare Blitz. Flare Blitz sucks. It's just terrible. Don't ever use it. I mean, you could build a Flare Blitz build for like red, but just don't do it. Don't do it. Trust me. And yeah, that's basically it for red's standard non-gridded set, right? And then his sync grid's really bad. It's not a really great grid either, but like at base he's already really, really good. So good news for folks who are trying to summon on all 3 of these, or all 5 if you want to count Cynthia and Lance as well, right? If you pull 1 copy of red, it's basically enough. What you get at 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5 is not like a huge deal, right? There are some decent nodes in here that I personally like. I do like Speeding Sun a lot. That's probably my favorite node on his whole kit, especially much better once Lyra gets her synchro expanded as well. You could run red with Lyra, which is a devastating combo, right? Red plus Lyra is insanely powerful. So when that comes out, and red, Lyra, and Venusaur, right? These 3 together on a team is is insanely good. Rejuvenate is situationally good. If you like, it's good if you really need move gauges, but now that against Skyla's a thing, you probably don't really need it, right? It used to be much more useful. Now, and not so much, because you generally don't really want to sync with red, especially if it does turn out it's split damage and AoE on its sync move on 6-star EX, and you definitely don't want to use a sync move. Would probably want to use your support sync move instead. So he could, just because Blast Burn does so much damage, right? You don't want to waste your sync move, waste your turn using your sync move when you could just use Blast Burn instead, and just have one of your other units use their sync move, so you still get the buff, right? So it's an extra 1.5 on your Blast Burn as well, right? So that's always nice. Nothing over here is that great. Haymaker, again, you could do a sync nuke build with red with Solar Flare 5 plus Haymaker. It does actually do really, really good damage. But we'll kind of have to see, what happens to his 6-star sync move, right? It could severely nerf this, right? Making it AoE. But we'll see what happens with that. After some other stuff, you got the standard MP refreshes on that. My Destiny stats cool. I'm personally not a huge fan of this node. just because it's like 10 energy. Yeah, I just generally won't take this. I just take some damage nodes instead. But it's a solid node. It's fine, right? Again, as you can see, not too much on his grid. Obviously, the power ups for the moves, stats, all that stuff. The grid's not that great. So good news is if you want to summon for all the other units as well. If you just get one copy of red, you should be fine, right? As for the banner, obviously a Pokefair banner, it does give you increased rates to get a 5-star, so that's really good. You also do get the extra sync orbs for gifts if you do pull multiple copies of them, which is pretty nice as well. Also the training materials, all that stuff. So that's definitely very, very good. So the banner is definitely worth summoning on if you don't have him already. But if you guys, like, in terms of all the units, obviously, like I mentioned in my other, videos, and just in general, all my suggestions for summoning on units, if this unit's its favorite character, your favorite Pokemon, just go for it. The game's not that hard. just if you love red, if you love Charizard, which I know a lot of you guys do, just go for him, right? He's a fantastic unit. Even if some units are better, you can still go for him, right? But yeah, in general, if you don't really care about that too much, I do probably suggest going for Venusaur first before red, just because Venusaur is just that much more powerful, right? In general, as a unit, it's something that's, yeah, Venusaur is something else, man. But once you do get Venusaur, it would be a good idea to get red. If you already had red, maybe you probably want to prioritize blue instead, or things with Cynthia. Or if you have like Ethan at 3 out of 5, because like Ethan 3 out of 5, if you guys don't know, it's actually very, very powerful now. 3 out of 5, Ethan actually does out damage red by a lot on Heatwave, and a lot of people, you mentioned the eruption issue. Oh, his HP decreases, his damage decreases. Yeah, but like they made Ethan so powerful that like even if his HP does decrease, as long as it doesn't go under 50%, he still does more than Red's Heatwave, right? So in terms of strikers, there's also that option that you could, if you already have, because Ethan generally not a limited sync pair, people do have more of, right? But again, even if you do have Ethan, Red's still a good option, right? He still does a lot of great stuff. You could run Red and Sun. Well, you could also run Ethan and Sun. I don't know. What does Red have over Ethan? Red is better in co-op. Red is much better in co-op, right? If you still care about co-op. And Red does have a single target blast burn, which is very nice as well. So Red is still really, really good. You should probably, try to go for him once you do get Leaf, right? But I would suggest going for Leaf first over everything, just because Leaf is that good, right? So anyways, that's me with this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like and enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel for some more Pokemon Masters content. And as for the summons, like I mentioned before, I will be uploading a summon video for Singsu Blue, hopefully as soon as possible after the banner drops. And Singsu Leaf's summon video I will upload the following morning, just because it's gonna be too late, right? And for Singsu Red, I already have him at 5 out of 5. I think I'm good on Singsu Red for the moment being. So again, good luck on your summons, and I'll see you guys in the next one.